African migration to the United States has unfolded over centuries, from the involuntary journeys of the transatlantic slave trade to early free migrants and today's voluntary newcomers. Recent studies have worked to separate those who paid their own way without help from the broader group who arrived through various means. This essay draws on three estimates: Africans arriving outside slavery or charitable aid, those without visa or job programs, and those entirely self-funded. These are set against a total of nearly 3 million arrivals, shedding light on migration patterns and funding. Africans arriving without slavery or charitable programs. The first estimate suggests that a large portion, between 1.5 and 1.75 million, came to the U.S. without being enslaved or relying on charity like refugee relief or church support. Before 1865, the slave trade forcibly brought about 389,000 people, while a smaller group of 5,000 to 15,000 free individuals, often sailors or traders from the West Indies, funded their own passage through work or savings. After 1865, voluntary migration took off, with roughly 1.5 to 1.73 million arriving by 2024 without charitable help. This includes early Caribbean migrants traveling by steamship and modern arrivals, growing to 2.4 million by 2024, many of whom used personal funds or jobs not tied to relief programs. This shift from forced to chosen migration stands out, even if some relied on work or visa support. Excluding work visas, diversity visas, and job sponsorship. A narrower look excludes employment programs, work visas, and diversity visas, leaving between 502,000 and 675,000 self-funded migrants. Before 1865, the small group of free arrivals drops to 2,000 to 5,000 when accounting for possible employer aid, like ship owners supporting sailors. After 1865, the total of 2.4 million immigrants shrinks when we subtract those helped by programs, diversity visas, employment-based arrivals, refugees, and charity. From 1865 to 1965, about 50,000 to 70,000 likely paid their own way before modern programs existed. Later, from 1965 to 2000, roughly 150,000 to 200,000, and from 2000 to 2024, around 300,000 to 400,000, arrived without visa or job aid, often as tourists or students adjusting their status on their own. This group highlights a higher level of self-reliance. Fully self-funded without any assistance. The strictest estimate, between 342,000 and 515,000, counts only those who migrated without any help, whether from government, employers, or faith groups. Before 1865, the free arrivals hold steady at 2,000 to 5,000, assuming no outside funds. After 1865, early arrivals up to 1965 yield about 40,000 to 60,000 fully self-funded. From 1965 to 2000, around 100,000 to 150,000, and from 2000 to 2024, roughly 200,000 to 300,000, used only their own savings, bypassing all aid programs. This smaller group traveled by ship in earlier times or by plane today, showing complete financial independence. Comparison to total arrivals. The total number of African arrivals ranges from 2.87 to 2.97 million. This includes 389,000 through the slave trade, a handful of free migrants before 1865, and over 2.4 million after. Later arrivals leaned on diversity visas, job programs, refugee support, charity, and mixed funding. The fully self-funded group, 342,000 to 515,000, remains a minority compared to those brought by slavery or aided by modern systems, showing how most relied on outside help. Conclusion. The numbers tell a story of growing independence, from 1.5 to 1.75 million arriving without slavery or charity, to 502,000 to 675,000 without visa or job programs, down to 342,000 to 515,000 fully self-funded. Against nearly 3 million total arrivals, the self-funded stand out as a minority, while most came through structured paths, from involuntary voyages to government or employer support, revealing the varied ways Africans reached America.